This is what happens in the garage. Tonight we're going to go over the employee mandate that's going to come into effect January 2015.
This is the reason that this is coming into effect on January 1 of 2015. The President of the United States unilaterally decided within his executive powers that he thinks he has to stick it to the man so his Democrats wouldn't get pounced during the midterm elections. So he went in, unilaterally changed the law, a law that was passed by Congress and is a law of the United States of America, changed it, delayed the mandate, so people would not get their cancellation notices from their employer prior to midterm elections.
So under this employee mandate, I have a health care plan that, I really like, okay? It takes care of me and my family, my wife and my children, okay? I pay roughly $440 a month for this plan. And I know underneath this plan that my employer, all right, pays probably 300% or 3 times what I pay for my coverage to provide me with a plan. It's a benefit. I got no out-of-pocket expenses except for a deductible. I got cheaper insurances, okay? So under this employee mandate, Scott, what's going to happen under this employee mandate that's going to affect this population of people?
Sean just explained how he had an insurance policy with his employer that he worked hard to get because he wanted to work for a company with great benefits, and that's what Sean chose. Now, his insurance cost him $440 a month. Now, typically, hey, if he can afford it, he pays for it, he likes it, he can keep it, okay? Well, not under this administration. What they've decided is if your plan is 9.5% or more of your wages, your yearly wages, they deem it not to be affordable to you. Not because America was complaining that they couldn't afford insurance, but because the government is telling you it's not affordable. Now, under the ACA, or Obamacare as some people like to call it, unfortunately the president won't use that term anymore because they want to run from it because of fees like the one I'm about to tell you about. Under IRS code 4980H, it describes what they call a safe harbor for employees. And under this safe harbor, they dictate that a 9.5%. Now that 9.5% means that if Sean has health care and he pays more than 9.5% of his yearly wages for his health care, the government tells Sean it's not affordable to him. It's not Sean saying it's not affordable, and it's not the American people. It's the government. Big brother coming in and telling you, hey, that plan you like, the plan you paid for, well, guess what? It's not affordable to you.
So 9.5%, Scott, what type of wage does a person have to make before that 9.5% comes into play?
Well, I'm glad you asked that. So under your case, you pay $440 a month. So you would have to make $56,000 a year. But it's not the $56,000 a year that's on your last pay stub. It's in box 1 of the W-2. And as we all know, when we do our taxes, box 1 is minus things like Medicare, Medicaid payments, Social Security, and your 401k, which a lot of us have. So typically, your box 1 is about $10,000 less than what your last pay stub is.
Gotcha.
So
net.
So it's the net.
Okay.
So you have to make, in box 1 on your W-2, it has to say $56,000. If it doesn't, under your situation, they're going to tell you it's not affordable, even if you like it.
Now, I just filed my taxes, and I noticed there was a box 12B. Do you know what box 12B is on the taxes?
It's a good thing you asked. A lot of people are getting ready to do their taxes and they see this new thing on there. It's box 12B. And it has a number, whatever it is. In your case, Sean, what did 12B tell you? What did it say? What was the number?
It was $16,000.
That is, if you read down at the bottom of your W-2, it'll tell you, like it has a little A, B, C, D. It tells you all that stuff. And what it tells you is that is the share of your employer, what he paid toward your plan for that year. And the reason they're doing that is because all employers have to report how much they paid.
So this is something new.
Absolutely.
I've never seen that before on
And the reason they're doing that is because there's a new excise tax associated with employer plans. Now, when I say excise tax, that means if you have a Cadillac plan, which the government deems is anything that costs in total between you and your employee $25,000 or more a year, okay, in total premiums, there will be a 50% tax on that plan. Because they say, well, you know, the government says, hey, that plan's way too good for you guys, okay? So we're going to use this money that we're going to take from people that have good plans, you know, no deductible plans, no copay plans, 100% coverage. They're going to take those plans and they're going to tax them, and that's just another fee that the government gets to try and keep this monstrosity running.
Okay, so what happens is you got a bunch of employees contributing to an employer-based coverage plan.
That's correct.
Okay, so now you have a group of individuals under that plan that are helping to keep the cost down for the whole company. The benefit provided by that company, the reason you went there to get hired under the American dream. You try to find the best business, you hire on with a company, and now there's a portion of those people. Now, depending on the size of the company, someone to make $56,000 to deem that person as, we can't cover you, you need to go to the you need to go to us.gov and model a site. What are the employers gonna do under this plan? Are they gonna decrease people's wages? Are they gonna cut people's hours? Or are you gonna have a company that decides, hey, you know, we need to get these people at the $56,000 mark so we don't have to pay fines and taxes and stuff of that nature, right? So what do? You think the employers across this country are gonna say, hey, we're gonna give raises to everybody?
Oh, absolutely not.
And it has nothing to do with your deductions after that point.
Right.
But before those deductions are made, if you make $56,000, you are just over the 9.5%.
Okay, 9.5%.
In Sean's case.
In my case, if you
For
have my
$440
$440 a month plan.
That's correct.
Okay. Right, and that's the ratio between adjusted gross and 9.5%.
That's correct.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I still don't understand. So if you make $56,000 a year,
Yep.
net gross, what?
It's when you get your W-2, okay,
It's
box one
Gross earned income.
Gross.
is gonna be your gross. But the gross is adjusted because Social Security, Medicare and Medicaid, and your 401k are pre-tax contributions.
Okay,
So-
so then they say at that point at $56,000 adjusted gross, okay, that you don't make enough money
That's correct.
to be part of your company's
That's correct.
plan.
And so what's gonna happen is
Oh, I'm so sorry for you, you have to be part of the government's plan.
well, not so fast. If you work for a good employer, what they could do is they could offset that cost. They could pick up more of the premium on their end to get you underneath that 9.5%. Now, we know a lot of employers are not going to do that because they're not going to lose money in this situation. Okay? So the other alternative, okay, say a company has 200 employees and none of them make $56,000 a year that get this 440. Okay, what's going to happen is the government is going to say, okay, so you have over 50 employees, okay, check, yep. So you have to provide your employees with affordable coverage, okay? Well, if you don't meet that mandate, they either pick up the cost, which we know they won't do, or they get fined $3,000 per person. Now, the first 30 people are exempt per the law, so 200 people in the company, 30 are exempt, 170 people now, okay, don't have affordable insurance, 170 times 3,000, an employee, until that company comes in line with these standards.
Or he says, I'm not gonna deal with it, I'm gonna make them all part-time help.
Right, and under the Obamacare mandate, we know that they deem 30 hours a week as full-time, okay? Now, we've always been taught 40 hours is a full-time.
Yep.
But under Obamacare, they wanted